It's Re-Up Alex.
It's BMO.
And I'm Jada Imani M. Thank you for having me.
This is the Re-Up Podcast. Great to have you here. So today is a special episode. We have a visionary, an artist, a photographer, videographer, storyteller, Jada Imani M here with us today. I really love these episodes because it's nice to have something that somebody has to physically look at instead of listen to if they haven't been familiar with the interview guests. So some of my favorite things that we talked about were her concert experience with photography, fashion, some of the local artists that she's worked with in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, where she's going, where she's been, and a lot more, just diving deep into a little bit of theory behind photography as well. So exciting.
What's up, man?
Man.
How are you?
Life is, we're here. Mm-hmm. Grateful. Things have been pretty crazy in Richmond, I'm not gonna lie. We don't got water right now.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the sewage system in Richmond, the power went out and nobody has clean water there. So we've been drinking bottled water for the past 2 days.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because we can't. They say you could boil the water, but it's coming straight from the sewer, so it's.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
I'm confused. Why was the power's out because of the snowstorm?
Yeah, in the treatment plant. So now we can't. Yeah, we have the entire city of Richmond does not have clean water right now.
I've never heard anything like that before.
It's crazy. We're basically like, I was chilling with my roommates because nobody could even shower, so you can't even hang out with people really.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, like, you can hang out stank if you want to.
Even if you could get to someone's house, like you're not presentable.
Come on, really. Man, be stank together.
Ain't nobody going on dates. You know what I'm saying? So, but. Boy, that's
the problem, man.
That's not
y'all have false expectations of romance. True romance is you being stank together.
Being stinky. No, but it's crazy because it kind of put us into pandemic mode. You know what I'm saying? Like we went to go get. I went to go get water. I'm driving in the icy snow. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny. Every place I went to go get water, all the water was sold out, but people didn't notice that the artisan water, the expensive stuff, is actually water.
Yeah.
So all my roommates, we've just been buying up all the expensive ass water because it's all we can get. It's pricey, bro. We got volcanic spring water right now. So we're surviving off of it. We're cooking. It's crazy times.
I'm so flabbergasted at the moment.
Nobody really knows about this. I don't think this is really on the news and shit.
Why do
my
you
parents
think that
didn't even know about this? Because man, Richmond. I think about this a lot, and all the times that I've been doing. More things to push Richmond forward. It's like, it's the capital of Virginia, bro. Like we need something.
That's crazy.
We're trying.
I'm actually still flabbergasted at the idea that the power could go out to the water treatment place. You would think of all the places that would have strong infrastructure to be like truly like double down on what's not going to run out of power. The water treatment plant would be like
water treatment plant.
At least number 2.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, apparently what happened was the power went out. The emergency generator kicked in, but it destroyed some sort of pump, and they have to wait for that pump to dry off or something crazy like that. But I don't want to bore you with the.
No. This is not boring to me.
Yeah.
This is like, so right before we got on, I saw that Brooklyn is swimming in shit right now.
Really?
For the same reason. There's literally shit on the street because of these infrastructure problems. And so you're saying, this is why it's interesting to me, because at the same time in New York, they just put in those, what are those markers they put in? What they call it? Congestion wage pricing. So you can't drive into the city without paying like $9 or $24 a price for the situation. So while there is a price on actually traveling to the place, the infrastructure of the places are still falling apart. And that confounds me. I don't understand how that happened. In the capital city of Virginia.
In the capital city of Virginia. Well.
And to say that,
yeah.
Why we don't know.
Why do we not know is because, a lot of news is more focused on DMV when it comes to that kind of stuff. Richmond is not in the DMV. 2, the elections. 3, there's a lot of mass hysteria happening right now. There's fires in California. There's tons of crazy things happening. I feel like it just kind of got washed under the rug. But yeah, lots of memes. We we settle on the memes in Richmond. There's some hilarious meme accounts. People get their information from the meme accounts. It doesn't even make any sense. Yeah, I'm talking way farther than like Virginia hip hop news. I'm talking like they avidly create very intricate jokes based on situations that happened within 24 hours in Richmond and specific stores. And like, yeah, it's hilarious. But people get their information from it too.
What are y'all on in
What
Richmond,
are we on
man?
in Richmond? Oh man, art and creative people in Richmond. And that can be a problem. It's a blessing and a curse.
That's crazy. Y'all don't got no water, man.
We ain't got no
Which one to
water.
talk about though? Which one to talk about?
Oh man, I don't got anything today, man.
You got nothing?
I could tell a story. I could do that. But what you got? Let me.
Was currently, making waves is Mark Zuckerberg's statement yesterday about getting rid of fact checkers on Meta social sites.
I did hear about that.
And I am a forever Afro optimist. So when I was hearing his statements out loud, it actually sounded like pretty good.
Was he wearing a gold chain and a loose-fitting T-shirt?
Yes, his fitted T-shirt. He had his simulated nappy hair. And I was like, you know what? This feels like you trying to be black. It's okay.
He's trying to humanize his brand.
Maybe. Man.
He kind of is. He kind of is. He is trying to do that,
But
which
yeah,
is crazy for something as big as Meta. Someone was telling me that, or I was watching something about Meta. I didn't know this. They're building their own Wi-Fi, their own internet connection cable that's going under the ocean connecting. I didn't know that like these cables.
Yeah,
like,
they go under the ocean.
They literally touch different countries.
Yeah.
This is going from India all the way to like Australia. Owned by Meta. It's crazy.
It makes sense.
Because they own WhatsApp, and that's obviously a very prevalent source of communication. They want that to be faster.
So they might as well own their own broadband for real.
Wild.
I mean, at least you know their name. Who owns it now?
No, they haven't created one like this yet. This is like a world record. Like,
wait, they already have like broadband cables.
This is one that's supposed to optimize in a way that has not been done before and is touching different countries that hasn't.
Right,
yeah,
man, get the fuck out of here.
Crazy. Optimization.
Fuck out of here. Optimization and humanizing your brain. I don't care.
So wait, the fact checkers. How is that even working? Anyways, there weren't people specifically fact checking this information, right?
Thank you for asking this question, because this is where I thought I saw progress. But I'll tell you at the end why I've been semi-corrected, but I'm still optimistic. So Zuckerberg makes an announcement, said he's getting rid of fact checkers, and he's also going to reprioritize what he calls social content, which is like political content.
Okay.
So apparently, for the last 4 years, the fact checkers in Meta, whether either digital or in person, have been flagging certain words and certain terms, and they're either punishing them by getting rid of the content or deprioritizing them in the algorithm. So when Zuckerberg says we're getting rid of that and we're going to replace it with community notes, basically two things happen. People saw that as, okay, it's going to be a flux of hate speech and misinformation.
Yeah.
But what I see is something a little deeper than that. What I see is an opportunity to actually become relevant in the type of things that we're doing before. So I have knowledge that the word black, the use of the word black, the use of the word black politics or black culture is automatically flagged as political content. So if that is now being reprioritized, that gives me the optimism to be like, oh, maybe finally my message can get out to more people. And I think we talked about Chad O. Jackson before. We talked about this bitch nigga Chad. Anyway, we talked about, this dude Chad Jackson, he is like me, but like the complete opposite conclusions.
Okay.
Right? I would say racism needs to be stopped before it gets to the marketplace. Chad Jackson says that racism should be mitigated through the marketplace. To me, that just don't make any sense.
That's crazy.
Why would we allow racist products to happen before it gets to the marketplace instead of waiting for the people who elected a racist to tell me that it's not good for the market? Don't make sense to me. But anyway, in that particular dichotomy, this nigga Chad Jackson is considered the non-discriminatory of the two of us, because his content is for everyone. His content, like, although it's ahistorical, his content does preach equal access, meritocracy, regardless of color, you should be judging your character or your content or your character, whatever Martin Luther King said that the Republicans use. So they use that. They've been using that framework to elevate what I consider dangerous ideology, ideology that falls in line with right wing and white supremacist thought patterns, but it's said by black faces using black examples. Therefore, it's cool.
Ooh, interesting.
So I feel like there's a war coming, actually. There's like a whole content clash that's about to happen. So if there is this veil that has been ripped out that says, okay, we were prioritizing dumb shit so that people didn't have to face political high-level shit. If that is now at an equal level, that means the dumb shit and the smart shit will be delivered at the same pace.
Yeah.
That excites me.
Makes sense. That's fair. That's fair.
Now, what niggas have corrected me is, this sounds like, and I hate to be very heady, I'm being very smart right now, but this sounds like Plessy versus Ferguson. This sounds like the agreement that the states had before Brown versus Education, which meant separate but equal.
Separate but equal.
Everybody gets to do their own thing. We're all going to treat you the same way. Now, what the people have reminded me is that, yes, on paper, separate but equal sounds great, but then we black.
Yeah.
So the rules don't apply the same.
Equal. Yeah.
So while there has been an open system created to exponentially like grow free speech and like rare ideologies and counterculture, that's not going to include us. Because although I'm saying black was considered political then it now might be considered hate speech. So it might work out, might not work out. But to me, it's an exciting thought. And instead of just the gut reaction of like, fuck meta, I'm studying, I'm looking. Because me and you about to get into some shit.
Yeah.
And we low-key need an equitable chance to say what we gotta say.
Yeah, that is very true. I mean, hey, I have told you a million times whenever we post clips that are wholeheartedly black-centric about black culture, they do not bounce as far as anything else that we do.
Not even close.
Yeah.
And it's funny looking through. So on my Reels feed, I have our stuff and I have my stuff. It's funny looking through and being like, here's our stuff, here's my stuff. And it's literally like a tenth. And I'm like, now I've gotten 20, 30 followers from this particular post. This particular post has, talking about the Kamau joint, particular post has 50 million views. I got people jumping in my DMs asking me questions about the interview. But the next clip that I post about some black shit is like the lowest thing I've ever posted in my life. That's why I'm saying the social media shit ain't real.
It's pretty wild. It is pretty wild.
It's crazy.
Like, but hey, we've also talked about this and about how it doesn't matter if it bounces. We are going to keep making it, and especially kind of touching on what you were talking about, where it's like there are people who have ideological just ideas that aren't actually black centric in the sense of pushing black culture forward.
Right.
I am always interested to hear about those things because, you know me, like I do care about all people, not to say that other people don't, and I do want to see the entire world thrive, but I do know, and I mean it's obvious that black people have been set back so far, and on top of that, you know, the copying of the culture. We're always talking about culture too. So I think it's an interesting place to be, and I love shoving that kind of content down people's throats.
Got to. You have to see it, man. We have to be able to flex the black imagination.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stories too that you know, as these generations get younger and younger, are going to get lost. And I'm really excited that we have this podcast that reaches a younger audience. And also,
do we?
Yeah,
they listening to my old ass.
We're 18 to 35, really? So you know,
I'm getting out of the
you're getting out of the range. But no, it's good. It's good to tell these kinds of stories, though, or they'll get lost.
Yeah,
or they'll get lost.
That's our purpose here, though. That's our purpose here. Mm-hmm. I don't want to drag on too much, but I told you earlier that I've been having like a business existential crisis. I've been trying to put together what would be a business plan. I've been in business 7 years. Never thought about no damn business plan. Have you thought about a business plan before? Oh hell yeah, Jada. Do you have a business plan? Do you have a business plan, Alex?
I do have a business plan, but not for this podcast specifically.
Do you think Quincy Jones had a business plan?
He might be a list person. He might be a list guy, but I don't know about a business plan.
I love you, dog. True.
Yeah. Do you think Rick Rubin had a business plan?
No.
Like, come on, yeah.
No, I don't think they had like a business plan. I've been struggling of what that actually means as far as like trying to define what we do. But one thing that is very clear in our like trying to define what my mission statement it is to preserve these stories. It is to make sure, past, present, and future, that this perspective is heard.
Yeah.
Has to. Because if not, like, it's just going to be gone, man.
Yeah. We don't know what the future holds with education. And especially the way social media is working, like, yeah, but especially with, like we touched on earlier, like people are getting educated from social media.
Right.
Like a lot of people do not watch the news. I still know exactly what the hell is happening if it actually gets bad. Why is that? Obviously social media.
Yeah. Jeez.
And how many phone calls I get on with my parents because they will tell me everything. You know what I mean? They'll update me. They watch the news.
Of course they will.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Well, yeah, let's bring Jada Imani M.
Jada!
Come through.
Pass me the water, Alex. I'm over here dry as hell. Boy, do you need this? Because I know you short on water. I don't want to. I don't want to hurt you now. Take a day's supply.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. I mean, the craziest part about that is you don't notice. Like at first, you're like, "Oh, we can get bottled water," and then you go and you try to wash dishes, and you're like, "Wow, I just ruined these dishes. Now I can't touch them."
Yeah.
Now because it's very. How are you gonna cook? We have rationed water. We can't just be dumping. We can't be boiling things. That's too much water. Like it's crazy. The world we live in.
That sounds terrible.
It sounds like you have to get pre-made food and just use the microwave.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of frozen pizzas. The craziest part is my roommates were saying that somebody's doing DoorDash delivery. I'm like, how are they cooking the food? You really trust that, bro? You really think that they pulled that off without washing their hands, washing the dishes? Like, come on, right?
Even so, the businesses, they don't have.
Oh, everyone's off like it's school. Yeah. Any restaurant is not open right now.
Schools are closed?
Wow.
I mean, schools might be closed too because...
Might be.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Kids are
dirty.
gross.
Exactly.
Yeah, they can't wash their hands, so yeah, you would...
They already don't be washing their hands.
Yeah. It's a lot of things that are affected here, but I work remote, so I'm still working through this whole...
Wow.
It's snowing. Everyone's, fending for their water and their resources. I'm still on my laptop.
That's crazy.
Jada, you from the area, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you from the area.
Yes, you see it?
A star from PG
You see
County.
a star from PG County.
I love
Shout out to Narwhals. They made this shirt.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I was about to ask you, have you encountered anything like Alex in this area? Water shortage, food shortage, blackouts.
Yeah, I'll say it's been some time, but I do remember living in my childhood home when I was younger. It definitely was a brutal snowstorm. I think it was 2011, 2012.
I remember
the power, it was out. And then even when the power came back on, a lot of the internet and cell phone service, stuff like that was messed up. I remember vividly not being able to watch cable because back then we were watching cable. And I turned on my DVD player. I dusted off my DVD player. I remember watching DVDs. I was watching Mean Girls and a whole bunch of other stuff.
The good stuff.
Interesting.
All the good
Mean
stuff.
Girls first.
I love Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Good one.
I love Mean Girls.
Same.
Really?
Yeah, I do love Mean Girls. It's good.
Wow.
It's good.
That is so surprising to me that you like Mean Girls.
I don't like musicals, but I do love...
I'm not even going to speak on that.
We have to go there.
I'm not even going to speak on that.
Okay, for sure.
The original Mean Girls.
Yeah, Mean Girls is lovely.
Love it.
I love girl movies, man.
I just wouldn't expect you to like Mean Girls specifically.
No, it's about white women, but it's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. You're just because you're.
I'm very black.
Yes. You are. That's why I'm like, Mean Girls.
Yeah, Mean Girls is
really?
interesting. It's great character development. It's like a good story.
Very great character.
I have a music video idea for an artist I'll share with you later that takes place in the Mean Girls universe.
Oh, yeah. Please, yes.
I think it would be dope.
Yes.
You know Autumn LaBella?
Yes.
Yeah, I would love Autumn LaBella to star in my Mean Girls adaptation.
Autumn is great.
Yeah, for sure. But like, okay, so like back to
but
being without resources.
The blizzard, it was bad. And then, of course, I mean, back then though, I was in high school.
Yeah.
So things affect you differently. You're kind of shielded in a way. It's like, okay, well, I can just sit in my room, watch movies, just chill out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Social media, it was around back then, but it wasn't as prominent as it is now. So it was just like, okay, cool. Like, I'm chilling. I do remember it being time. It was a time where I don't know if it was a water shortage or if the water was just off.
Yeah.
And I do remember, like, this was a long time ago, long time ago, taking a bath and it was like water that was boiled.
Oh, really? From the pot?
From the pot. Had to be poured in the tub. Yeah. That was like a really long time ago. And then, of course, the pandemic happened and that was crazy. I mean, wow. All the Lysol was just gone or overpriced. Like, I just remember us
toilet paper.
Searching. Yes, toilet paper, everything. Like, I remember I would go to the store early for my mom, like if she, she was busy or, I would go to the store and I would like, okay, do you need me to get any wipes? Because I'm like, right now they have like actual cleaning Clorox wipes. Right now.
Right now. Only right now.
Should I get a few of these while they have them? I would go whenever Target or Walmart or whenever these stores, like the grocery stores, right when they open, like early in the morning, when they have the stock. Because it was a point in time where you would go to the store, you go after like 9, 10 a.m., everything is gone.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Different time.
Yeah, that was crazy. I'll say that was the first time that something like that affected me in adulthood.
Yeah. Let's park there for a second.
Yeah.
Because when I think about photography, that to me feels like the most resource needed art form. You need a camera. That's not something I can just make naturally. Like if I wanted to draw Alex, I can make an old matchstick or get a rock from outside and just scratch that shit on the ground. But to take a photo, you need an actual machine. So kind of talk me through your journey of how you grew through your resources. How'd you go from your first maybe basic camera to where you are now with your, I don't know, I can't even say what it is. Your Leica 2000X plus 16, whatever it is.
No, okay, so I started with the Sony a6000. I was in school studying digital filmmaking and video production. And of course, I wanted an actual cinema camera. But we saw those prices, and my mom was like, no.
Right.
But we can get you a camera that shoots video. So got the Sony a6000. Of course, I was at Best Buy. They didn't know what they was talking about. But they hyped it up. It's not a bad camera, but
for what you wanted.
It was new.
Right.
That was a new camera at that time, and I think they were trying to get the sale or whatever. But yeah, I used that camera. It's a part of what got me into photography. I was taking a lighting class at school, and the first assignment was to take photos in black and white and in color.
Of course.
So did that assignment. My partner at the time, he was just like, oh, you should actually think about taking this seriously. These photos are good. So I started doing it for fun. Then I started taking it more seriously.
Yeah.
And I intentionally took a studio photography class as a technical elective because that would give me free access to the photography studio specifically, because there was a photo studio, there was a video studio. And I wanted to get in the photo studio because they had the strobes. I could check out DSLR cameras like for free, rent them for free. So I'm like, I need that. I'm gonna need that, like expeditiously.
Run that up.
So took the class. While I was taking the class, that's when I learned how to use Canon. And they had the 5D Mark II.
Okay.
So me and the 5D Mark II started going together real bad.
Real bad.
Real bad.
Good camera.
Real bad. The 24 to 70, I would rent that out as well. Or the 24 to 105, just depending on what was available. I also had a 50 millimeter, like the 50 millimeter by Canon, that's only like $125. People watch this, they'll know exactly the one I'm talking about. It's the nifty 50 because it's so convenient, gets the job done, very reasonable lens. So I was doing that. I was renting out, I would rent it out like for all my projects in the studio. I started putting myself out there more as a photographer on Instagram. I created an Instagram, the same Instagram I still have today. I created it in, I think it was August or September of 2016.
Okay.
And I was taking a lot of photos of the landscape, like the cityscape, all the buildings around where I went to school. I went to school in Roslyn, down the street from Georgetown.
Where?
Yeah. So the Art Institute of Washington, it used to be in Roslyn, right across the street from the Metro.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. Took them long up steps in Roslyn. Yeah.
Yes. Getting my steps in. Right across the street from the Metro. So, yeah, I would walk around, like, get food. I would bring my camera with me, just take photos. And I just started posting them on Instagram. Took pictures of my brother. Took pictures of my boyfriend at the time. Took picture of neighborhood dogs in my neighborhood. Just trying different things. But I realized when taking studio photography, I'm like, okay, I want to take the portraits, the editorial stuff. And as soon as I learned, I started shooting with people, like in the area. I remember 2017, it was this model named Sarah. Shout out to Sarah, wherever she is. I hope she's okay. I think she moved out of the DMV. I met her at Street Meet DC.
Street Meet.
Shout out to Street Meet DC. I met her there. We started collaborating a lot. And I also remember shooting with Odd Mojo. I think Odd Mojo was the first artist in the DMV I shot with in a studio setting, like real professional, like photos. I was happy about the lighting, like the editing. Everything was perfect. Still love those photos. Her, and then I think it was Alex, and then I just started shooting in the studio a lot more often. I remember I collaborated with a fashion student as well back then. Oh it was a lot of growth that came from that.
So when did you start doing like the concert stuff?
Okay, so graduated from the Art Institute 2018. But it was probably the end of 2017 when I was still in school, because I started listening to a lot more DMV artists. 2013 technically is when I started listening to more DMV artists. I was listening to Third Eye Youth, which I don't know if you heard of Al Hostile.
Yeah.
Yes,
Come
Al
on.
Hostile. Yes.
I do my studies.
Yes, Al Hostile. He was in this collective called Third Eye Youth.
Okay.
He was rapping back then, though. So, yeah, I used to listen to them a lot. Listen to Thrax,
Yeah,
of course.
Thrax.
Yes, yeah. 2013 was crazy. It was like Third Eye Youth over here, Thrax over here. I was listening to both, and then so I kind of kept up with certain artists. Then I started discovering more artists and going to their shows in like 2015, like. Cicero is an artist that I discovered around that time. So April and Vista, love April and Vista. So by 2017, April and Vista had a show at Union Stage. I think that was 2017. From my memory, that was 2017. It was them. They were the headliners, but they had Suge Savage open. And then Cicero, and then April and Vista. Such a good show.
Yeah.
It was such a good show. I think that was the first time I had ever been to Union Stage. From my memory, it was at Union Stage.
Okay.
I think that was
To my best memory.
I think it was around when it opened too. Union Stage is pretty new. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was around the time because I had not heard of that venue before then. So, yeah, that's when I started doing concert stuff. Was I doing it consistently as I should have been? No.
As you should have been?
2017, I wasn't doing as much concert stuff as I feel like I was scared. I should have put myself out there more. Well, shoulda, coulda, woulda. But 2019 is really when I
when you locked in.
Locked in for
Then the
real
pandemic
with
started.
live music.
Okay.
And then
The pandemic started. Right,
started.
exactly. Back to the question though. so that happens. It seems like you're hitting it off, you're getting a good stride with your concert photos, and then you shut down, artistry shuts down, and now here we are. So like what did you do? How did you like pivot? Like how do you I didn't know you graduated from school for this. And now it makes sense.
For filmmaking, not for photography.
Didn't read the treatment.
I didn't read the treatment. No, I didn't.
For filmmaking, not for photography, but for
Either way, for
filmmaking.
either capturing light.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it did help. But when the pandemic happened, so 2019, I was very fortunate to have the drive and momentum that I did. Like, spring 2019, I was just like, okay, what events are happening this weekend? Whatever is happening, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be shooting. I don't care if I'm getting paid or not. I don't care. I just went out and I did it. I remember one of the first things I went to, it was this event called Jungle Fever. And
Wow.
yeah, and it was Mr. Selecta, the DJ, and Main Squeeze.
Yeah, of course. That's hilarious. Yeah.
From Girla. Yes. So it was them two. They're really good friends. They would have these parties together called Jungle Fever.
Yep.
And it was at U Street Music Hall.
They just opened back up, actually.
What?
Yeah, U Street. Or they're either about to or they're opening up, yeah. It's going to be like very hookah-centric, but like, yeah.
Oh, no, then that's not U Street Music Hall then. That's not the same.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
No, rest in peace, U Street Music Hall.
How
Great
would it
times.
be hookah-centric? It was a concert hall.
They turned it
Because they
changed.
changed
I think they're
it
still going to
up.
have shows there, though. Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah,
would not
look into
wanna-
it. Definitely look
I don't
into
know.
it.
Performing hookah smoke?
I mean, depending on,
Yeah.
I would probably just check it out to see how it is. Because I mean, I know U Street Music Hall. Yeah, that event, they had some great lighting at U Street Music Hall.
They did. You got a picture
So
of me
good.
at Music
I
Hall.
was literally just
sure
about
did.
to say that.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that because I was literally looking at some old photos, looking into my archive, looking for specific photos, and I'm going through. I'm like, oh, there's BMO. And then I was like, oh, U Street Music Hall.
Yeah. Crazy times. Crazy times.
But yeah, I think that show was in 2019.
Yeah, it was.
To my point.
Yeah, it was.
2019 was great. I shot Jungle Fever. I shot the DuPont Brass Show. And April and Vista performed at the Jungle Fever event.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2019, I shot an event for Odd Mojo as well, because she did I think a music video screening that year as well. So I shot that too. I also started, keeping in contact with Live Nation. And I wasn't officially an in-house photographer, but one of the people from Live Nation, I would email her and just say, hey, can you forward my press request to the PR of this artist? And they would do that.
Yeah.
And, so I would I would do that consistently. I would just be consistent. And in between that, I would still shoot with local artists. I shot AV sessions.
Yep.
I started shooting AV sessions every month on a consistent basis. So that helped build my portfolio. And in July 2019 at AV Sessions, I met my now friend, my brother, one of my favorite creative collaborators, Chiquete. I finally met him. He told me, he said, yeah, I have this concept I want to run by you. And then I remember I saw him tweeting like probably a few weeks later about making this album called Grown Man. And he wanted to invite these artists to his studio space and just, create something like Revenge of the Dreamers 3. They made the whole documentary. It was a whole thing. And I'm just like, oh, well, I want to document it. Can I document it? And he's like, yeah, of course. Went to his place, and I think it was like 2-3 days. I would go there every day and just document that whole process. And in the midst of that, he's just like, yeah, so I want you to be my creative director. And yeah, so the concept of being a grown man, I want you to turn me into a tree. I'm like, okay. I'm thinking just in, post like a double exposure type of thing or something like that.
Will Smith in that tree costume and Fresh Prince? That's what you're going to do?
Or I don't know. I don't know. I just remember him describing it to me. He's like, no, I really want to do the hair, the makeup, the everything. And then an edit on top of that and make it look like a painting. And I'm just like, okay. So we started doing research and we did the whole shoot, everything in his basement.
Wow.
And at that time I had these Godox lights. They weren't even photo lights. They were video lights. They were only 60 watt. And we just made it happen. This was pre-AI editing, okay? Yeah. This was pre-AI Photoshop, because if we had that,
I mean, you'd been in general field, baby.
But it wouldn't be the same.
It would not be the same, because it was a lot of effort, like so much effort, like so much. Like Chiquete is very particular.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm grateful for it, because he really pushed me to do that. So that was one thing. 2 other people I love working with. 2019, Foots and Coles.
My whole heart.
They reached out to me. They wanted me to creative direct and also photograph their projects, Jade and Azor. And they're just like, what direction do we go in? They wanted it to really look and feel like the gemstone.
Yeah.
And they had told me this, I believe, before we had an in-person meeting. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, let me put together a mood board.
Right.
This is when I started being on Pinterest heavy.
Started getting your creative director bag for real.
And I saw, like the Missy Elliott, like the foil and, the type of stuff. And I found it on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, well, I can just build this set.
I could just.
Very ambitious of me. I had never done set design.
Yeah.
Ever. So I was just like, okay, how am I going to do this? I had gaff tape. I bought I think, is it cellophane? I think.
Yeah.
See-through stuff.
It's reflective material. It's for greenhouses.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
it's for greenhouses. So I'm like, okay, cool. I found it in bulk on Amazon, bought it, cut it up into these big rectangles. I crushed it up a little bit and just used gaff tape and just taped it to the floor, the walls. It was a corner like this. It literally probably the same height in Fuss's apartment.
Right.
We just moved.
Move the stuff.
Move furniture over.
Yeah, you got a set right there.
Move that ironing board.
Just the ceiling, the walls, the floor, just covered the whole thing. And we shot it right there.
I love that.
Right there. And that was 2019 as well. So, I mean, that was crazy. So I feel like
that's when I first found you.
Oh,
because I was a big fan of Foots and Calls, huge fan of Foots and Calls, and of course Alex, of course.
Yes,
I didn't know they ran together.
Yes, me, Alex, Coles all went to the same high school.
That's so crazy to me.
Yes,
but in my head, all y'all went to the same school. Like everybody.
Yeah, in your mind, I remember you asking me like, so did all y'all go to school?
Yeah, you went to school with Chiquete and Kramer and Nomad and
like no,
Raheem Supreme. You didn't go to school with all these people?
Oh, shout out to Raheem. No, I did not go to school with any of them. It's so funny. No, just Alex, Coles, our Mojo.
Yeah.
We all went to the same school. But yeah, I feel like building the foundation that I did in 2019 helped me get through the pandemic. Because we pivoted. I mean, Chiquete's album, we had the whole documentary screening and everything.
It was beautiful, yeah.
In February, planned to release the album officially on March 1st on his birthday and have, just like this whole like live performance thing. Couldn't have it.
Couldn't do it.
Because we're just like, oh, everyone needs to go to their own homes. We don't know how this is going to be. We filmed like a YouTube performance. Yeah. And that was the last time I saw Chiquete in months.
Man.
Like after that, it was just like, wow, I can't believe like we don't really know what's going on. And it's kind of scary because it's just like everything's virtual. So we pivot to Instagram Live. We pivot to YouTube. We just pivot. And I think just building a foundation is very important.
Right.
Because that'll get you through. Because when outside started to creep up and slowly open, it's like, oh, great. I'm so grateful for the connections I made from 2017 through 2019. So now it's like, oh, we're kind of back.
We back at it.
Mm-hmm. We're back at it. Yeah. Like we never left. Mm-hmm. And we just keep going, really.
Do you think the world of entertainment is actually back now, or do you think it was like more thriving before the pandemic?
Yeah, you would know.
To be completely honest, it's not the same. Because unfortunately, what did happen is a lot of our spaces closed. Mm-hmm. Even nightlife is not the same. It's like not, U Street is not the same. I used to be on U Street, like for real, like almost every weekend for an event, a concert, just and feeling safe, walking around late at night with my friends. Like everyone's outside with their friends. Yeah, like it was just different. We would be going from Brixton to Marvin's to Diet Starts Monday. I think all of those places are closed.
Yes,
to U Street Music Hall, closed. It's like, it's not.
Velvet? Oh,
Velvet Lounge was always the place we would stop by first and then like probably finish off at.
Yes.
So it was always that space. I would always look forward to seeing Juice. shout out to Juice.
Shout out to Juice, man.
I would always look forward to seeing him. I'm, and it's no shade to anyone else that was working the door there, but I want to see Juice at that door.
Right.
I want to see Juice at that door.
Get out of here.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's still thriving. It's just not the same because, you know, in certain things, I won't get too deep into the negative, but also certain things get exposed about people, and that affects people's relationships amongst
some of those people
each other,
you know,
and other artists. And so now people aren't really throwing as many like big collective shows anymore.
No, that
it used to be like heavy in the early like 2010s.
Like Jungle Beat was a great example.
Yeah,
but even like, well, Selecta moved and he's doing a lot of.
Yeah, he's doing
He's
fine.
building things and stuff. He's great.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
But like, people are not having, you know, it used to be, like I said, it was Third Eye Youth. There was 3-0 WAP, which were like the rappers and artists from Maryland.
Okay.
They would throw shows. Also, 800. That was another rap collective as well.
Yeah.
That Al Hostile was in. Casey Jones.
Really?
Jew from Mingo that created Mingo. He was also in that. He was also in that collective.
Who's telling these stories?
what happened to all the collectives?
Yeah, what the fuck? Because I've
know. They're
never
so
heard of none of these
important.
people you just said. Not the people, but the collectives
But
themselves.
the collectives.
Squash Club with Callie Eustace and Gold Link and all of them.
Yes.
And Kid Marvel.
Callie and Gold Link. Yeah, they used to be out here. They were making. I ain't gonna speak. I ain't gonna speak on that.
Yeah, we don't need to speak.
Yeah, I know they do have music together, like years ago.
Yeah,
Good music.
that's
Good
where I
music.
started
Good
off.
songs. Great songs.
In the studio that they had in Springfield, and I was a little intern when I was coming up with Gold Link and
It's
Callie.
the DMV right here.
Yeah. It was Northern Virginia. Because
DV.
He's
went,
DV.
DV.
When we talk about where
DV.
Virginia at, it's out.
Yeah, he went to Gold Link went to Hayfield, so that was like 10, 15 minutes away from my house. So all my friends knew his friends, and it's crazy.
That's so crazy.
And Callie Eustace is the craziest person, I think, out of like that DMV music and art circle that like a lot of people don't even know she's from Northern
I did not know
Virginia.
that.
Like we used to go and there'd be shows at Jack's Nightclub, which was in Springfield. That's where they brought a lot of the rappers like Mac Miller and Logic and all them back in the day when backpack rap was big. I remember Callie used to be like outside and she would have like a swarm of guys. I had never seen anything like it, all trying to spit game, and she'd just be sitting there ignoring them.
Damn.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Period. Yeah. Callie,
Crazy
she's one of them ones. She's really one of my favorite artists.
Great person.
From here. Yeah. Great. She's sweet and she
so
makes
sweet,
she makes great music.
I didn't know she was from here.
She does claim it. I remember when I shot her show in DC, she was like, you know, in her soft like, voice and her accent, she's like, this is technically a home show for me. Like, she's so, like, feminine and dainty. Love it. She's great. But yeah, she's from the DMV.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's talk about femininity for a second.
Okay.
I consider you a very feminine person.
Oh, yeah.
But I know that like the photography music industry is some niggas here. There's some niggas. How are you navigating that? We don't talk to femmes often, actually. This is what you like. Number 3, number 2, number 3?
Yes, the third.
Yeah, I was doing my due diligence. I was looking on you all's Instagram and stuff, and I'm like, where are the women? I'm just kidding.
No, ask the questions.
Hey, we're working on it. We're working.
Hey, I mean, I will tell the girls you all treated me very well.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it.
But
how you navigating these niggas, man? Because niggas is rough, bro. I had a conversation with a nigga today.
Niggas is rough.
I did. With the full-on music industry nigga. I had a full-on conversation with this nigga today. And I was like, you talking to my artist this way? You're crazy. Get off my phone.
No, yeah. Niggas are, can be a lot. I do think think some of them though have been like really supportive though.
Okay.
And just really uplifting and encouraging and understanding, you know, that it can be rough, you know, especially in live music. It can be a lot at those festivals.
Yeah.
Especially when the photo pit is crowded and it's all these men and they're just like pushing, shoving. They'll come and stand in front of you. It's definitely been guy friends that have just definitely been like, yeah, no, excuse me.
Yeah.
Like you need to move out her way. You can't just come and just stand in front of her. You can't just push her or shove her. I mean, it's, you know, even dealing with security talking to us any kind of way or, you know, touching us. I'm like, okay, like, no, don't put your hands on me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're telling me to leave, you don't have to keep telling me to leave. I'm like, you see me moving.
Right. I'm moving.
Don't touch
It gets
me.
so crazy.
It gets crazy. Yeah. I'm like, don't touch me. Because whoever the hell is on stage is like, of course, yes, they're great, whoever it is. I'm not that pressed. I'm not about to jump up on stage and join them. Like, it's not that
Came to
deep.
do a job.
It's not that deep for me.
Yeah.
I'm here to do a job. Not even that. I'm here to do a job. I respect people's boundaries. Like, I'm not a stan. Like, I'm not crazy. So, yeah. Yeah, you know, just so I feel like surrounding myself around the right niggas. Surrounding myself around the right niggas that are, you know, supportive, understanding, respect boundaries, and stand on business when they see something that just is not right.
True.
Thanks for listening, y'all. If you get a chance to subscribe, like, download, and follow, we really appreciate it. You can find us on Instagram at TheReUp, ODCAST. You can also find us on Patreon for exclusive content. New episodes every other Thursday. Thanks for your trust. Appreciate y'all.